The past 3 races of the Turkey Hill Truck Series have all been won by the same team. Team Velocitar is on a tear, and if you count the pole qualifying sessions as well, they have 7 of the last Turkey Hill Truck Series events. Well, here tonight, they start on pole again with Blaine Keys, who is your points leader, but this is a very interesting race. Only 34 laps of very high-speed course here at Charlotte. And we do have a cycle of pit stops that will run about 20 laps of the way through. It's anybody's game if you start up front in this one, and no one is safe once you get this race going. So we'll have to see how it all goes down here tonight on a Friday night from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, one of the best races of the season. We've been looking forward to this one for quite some time in the NR2003 and the 2024 Turkey Hill Truck Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the 8th race of the season here in the 2024 Turkey Hill Truck Series. And let me tell you what, there is one team that has been far and above the rest of this field up to this point this season. And we talked a lot about the Groton Autosport Alliance, but it's really just one team that has gone out there and dominated, and maybe just even one driver, and that being Blaine Keys. And we made up a very interesting, we didn't make it up because it's an actual stat, that Blaine Keys has won 15 races in the past 2 years on the channel. He's going for number 16 in the last 2 calendar years here tonight, and I've got his team owner in the booth alongside me to witness it. Maybe we'll have to see if it happens, but Matt, Blaine Keys is going on a tear right now. He has got the advantage in the championship. He's got the pole here tonight. What does he need to do in this race to hold on to that race lead, dominate this race, because he did not dominate last week at Rockingham even though he got the win? How do you think it's going to go down for him? What does he need to do to get the job done here in this KN200?
Well, I think the nice thing about having these very fast trucks that we have and a great driver combination is that you don't need to be out front leading 34 laps to be able to win the race. You just need to be in the right position at the right time, and that's obviously what happened at Rockingham. You only led 3 laps, started from the pole. Rockingham, a decent length race. So I think same thing here tonight. I mean, Derek Hamilton is outside, very fast. Roberto Crown Jr. has been surprisingly quick this season, and I think it goes without saying the 2 brightly colored ERR trucks lined up behind Blaine are going to be a huge threat here tonight. So I think it's less about, doesn't need to dominate, but if you keep that truck in the top 3, 4 up in the lead all race, he will be there with a shot to win.
And it'll be fascinating to see if anyone can challenge Blaine as this race goes along, especially Troxel and Koshmer, who both have very quick trucks. They're 3rd and 4th in the points, and that team actually leads in the owner's standings as well. Because your other driver, Ladovic Shred, has struggled this season. She did get the win in Michigan, but a lot of mechanical issues, a lot of things that have not been her fault. She sits 16th in the point standings coming into this race, the race where she got her first career win, by the way, a year ago. And she starts 10th on the outside lane. We'll see if she can find her way up to her teammate and possibly get this one here tonight. I know you want to see it, Matt, but we got 34 laps to decide it, and we've got some drivers who do not want to see it in this field. Here's how they line up in the championship standings coming into this race here. 7 races into the season, 11 races to go, and already 214 points for Blaine Keys. The average starting position is 4 for Blaine Keys. It's actually more now that he's gotten this pole. He actually has 215 points officially because he has the pole position for this race. So he got the bonus point towards the championship for that. Nicholas Sambidio is now officially 16 points behind. Thomas Troxel officially 29 points behind. Kochmer officially 30 points behind. And Jack Haas 43 behind. Jack Haas almost got that win last week at Rockingham. Very quick truck in that race, but could not hold off Blaine near the end with the lap traffic of Jesse Turner getting in the way. And he's got another shot here today, starting on that inside lane midway through the field. But still early on in the season, Blaine has gone on a tear in the Truck Series as well. Of the past 13 races in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, and going back to last year, he has won 5 of the last 13. And he's looking for 6 of 14 here tonight, and he's got a good shot at it. We'll have to see if he can do it. He's alongside Derek Hamill there on row number 1. You got Thomas Troxel on the inside of Roberto Crown Jr. Troxel as well had a mechanical failure at Rockingham, so he fell back because of that one. Then you got Leonard Kochmer, Justin Zeidel, the last two drivers who made the Fast Six. Avery Alford coming off of that very solid finish at Rockingham, a very strong run in that race, alongside Laura Chung. And then you got Skep Silver and Ladovic Strat rounding out the top 10 starting positions. I want to shout out Duncan Ward there in 11th. He has been going on a tear as of late. And you also have the 61 of Nathan Stabling, who needs a rebound here. He is 32nd in points, and these guys have run a lot worse than they have been showing and what they have capable in those engines. We'll have to see what he can do here tonight, starting from 12th. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we'll get these drivers to show us what they've got here in this race. Only 34 laps is a very quick race. And Matt, do I dare ask you, who do you think is going to get this race victory here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Well, I think if it's not going to be Blaine Keys, and I emphasize if it's not going to be Blaine Keys, I'm going to go inside row 3 in that very brightly colored number 39 machine. I picked that 39 a few times last year when it was Logan Williams behind the wheel and he piloted it to victory. And Leonard Kochmer has been absolutely unbelievable. If Blaine Keys wasn't as good as he is, I think we would probably talk about him more. But I think we're going to see Leonard Kochmer go up there and really fight for it tonight.
So you're saying Blaine Keys is going to win this race? You implied that.
Listen, I think Blaine Keys has a very good chance to win this race, but I'm not going to... Third and fourth in the points for the two trucks lined up on the inside behind him. I will not disrespect them in any way.
Not at all. I mean, rightfully so. Rockets. Rightfully so as well. That team has been very strong this season, and they have gone up against you guys. And Troxel as well. Got the win at Darlington early on in the season. Kochmer has been up front in a lot of these races and has found himself fourth in points at this point, and he's in a good spot to win this thing too if things go his way. Well, here we go. It's only 34 laps here tonight on a Friday night in early October and Charlotte Motor Speedway, one of the best tracks we go to on the channel. Let's see who gets it done here tonight in the K&N 200 at Charlotte. Well, lap one, they're side by side. Blaine's going to get the bonus point for leading that lap, but a good run for Thomas Troxel, trying to find his way around this one machine. Derek Hamill slots in the third, Leonard Kochmer in fourth, and then you got Avery Alford and Roberto Crown Jr., teammates at Stover Motorsports, both inside the top six right now. And like I said, Alfred had a great run last week at Rockingham, and he is backing it up here tonight in this one. Everybody right on that inside lane. You got three wide as Skep Silver, almost getting shuffled out of line right there by Justin Zeidel and Duncan Ward. And here comes Derek Hamill, making a move to the inside of Thomas Troxel and Roberto Crown Jr. for fourth on Leonard Kochmer.
I mean, we talk about all these big dominating teams, Velocitar, and ERR, and rightfully so, but Stover Motorsports has been absolutely fantastic with the 0-1 truck to start the season, and Avery Alford, I think, is finding some... Duncan Ward is back up here again. I have no idea how he's doing this, but he has been unbelievable as well. So, I mean, we've talked about some of these big names a lot throughout the season, and rightfully so, but there has been some smaller... some who have not proven a lot so far, who have just been unbelievable, but, I mean, this is a hornet's nest here. I would not want to be stuck anywhere in the middle of this.
And yeah, Leonard Kochmer, Thomas Troxel battling it out right there, and they're all trying to be that driver who clears out and tries to catch Blaine, but Blaine is just pulling away. Now remember the Coke 600 back in May when Rogel Dorn dominated this race. Once he got out front, he led nearly 2/3 of the event. And Blaine Keys was the guy who finished second in that race. Blaine Keys won the Coke 600 in 2023. And speaking of Rogel Dorn, he has moved his way inside the top 10. This is definitely a driver to watch out for in this race. A lot of experience and a lot of good runs here at Charlotte for both Dorn and Keys. This is their playground here. But I'd watch out for this 01 of Roberto Crown Jr. Remember how fast he was at Michigan. Got the top 5 finish there. Almost got the race win. Still going for their first career win on the channel. But they're looking for second there on Derek Hamill, and they have not fallen off of Keys as this run has gone along, and they could take it to Keys as this race goes along here. So we're still early on in this K&N 200.
Yeah, Roberto Crown Jr., a veteran on the channel, has not had a lot, and obviously has not had any victories, and has really struggled in the ratings era in the channel. But this has been, I mean, we're now closing in on halfway through the season, and currently top 10 in points. So clearly, Roberto Crown Jr. has found something. This is a fiery battle here with Hamill, the two ERR trucks, Duncan Ward, who just continues. I think I said in her Sprint Series broadcast, watch out for Ward and Koshmer heading into the later parts of this season, and they have both definitely shot their stock up in the Cup Series draft with the way they have been driving through these opening 7 rounds of the Truck Series campaign.
And for Leonard Koshmer, because a lot of these guys are going to have to sign up. You're going to have to sign up if you want to make the Wawa Cup Series as a charter driver. Koshmer wins the Truck Series Championship, he's going to be automatically a part of that draft, and he does not have to sign up. Same goes for Duncan Ward if he gets it, but Kochmer at this point has a very good opportunity at doing so this season. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case as the season goes along, but they got to beat this guy. They got to beat Blaine Keys, and I tell you what, Blaine is just so hard to beat if you put him in this position. And it's fascinating what happened last week at Rockingham, because he didn't have the fastest truck the majority of that race. But he kept himself in it and found himself up front right at the end when it mattered the most, and he could very well go out and lead every single lap of this race here tonight the way it's looking right now. Roberto has cleared, though, for second. Going to try to close in on Blaine before the cycle of pit stops. Like I said, about lap 20, lap 21, when these guys are going to start cycling through. We got Koshmer. We got Igor Barreto here in the 13th. Great run for Igor here, running inside the top 5. He's looking for his second win of the season here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. And a great run for this number 13 team once again. Duncan Ward slipped back just a little bit right there in the 18 down the 9th, and Avery Alpha rounds out the top 10. Ladovic's right up to 13th. This was the race she won last year. It was her first career win. Little did we know that she was going to do what she did in the Wall Cup Series. We expected a good run out of her going the Grand Auto Sport at that point last year, but you know, now she's a Wall Cup Series champion, and she's got a great run going for her so far in this race, at least all things considered. Nicholas Samadeo has not had a good run in this race. He's second in points, but you really can't get anything done if you're midway through the field 18th, and especially with how short this race is. It's going to be interesting to see if he can find himself up front once we get down to it. But Blanky's starting to pull away now from the rest of these guys, including Roberto Crown Jr., and it was 0.92 seconds the last time. He gained 0.2 that lap right there, and he just keeps on putting down these flying laps here at Charlotte.
No, I mean, obviously me and Stuart, we joke about it, and obviously I am sure that people do find it quite annoying, and, you might have a point, you guys might be right. But the pace that this one truck here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series has shown in the past, 20-odd races or so, it's been, like you said, going for 6 wins in the last 14 races. That's only Drew Webb last year in the Wawa Cup Series chase has ever put on a run like that. And we're at the start of the season. We're closing in on halfway through the season, not the end of the season. So this is a strong showing here early from Blaine. Roberto Crown Jr. in second, fantastic run. Igor Barreto and Justin Zeidel. I feel like I've seen him up front at some point in almost every truck race I've called this year, and I feel like he's not getting the results that 88 is capable of. He has been wheeling it this season, and it's been quite impressive. Not getting the results, but if you watch these races, he's a player in a lot of them, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, and this team struggled a lot last season, and they're struggling again this season, but they have been in every Fast 6 except for 2 up to this point. They've been in 6 of the 8 Fast 6 so far in qualifying, which is impressive. There are some teams out there who have not even come close to making a Fast 6, and that team has had one of their drivers in the Fast 6 pretty much each week this season. It is a mess back in here. And Ladovic's in the middle of all of it as well. You got Brian Webb trying to make a move. They're all trying to get around Avery Alfred right here. Sam Medeo going to make it 3 wide to the inside of Torres and Alfred. Here comes Jack Cobbs, who was the runner-up last week at Rockingham. Also on the inside, and Ladovic can't be too happy about this. She's losing a ton of ground right here. And I just don't kind of feel for Ladovic. Her teammate of Blaine Keys, and maybe, maybe this is a little bit of karma, I guess. Not that she did anything wrong, not that anyone did anything wrong in the Walla Cup Series, but remember how that Walla Cup Series title went down? Ladovic took it away there from the one machine, or from Blaine Keys, I should say, in that finale race. Well, now Blaine's getting all the good luck and all the speed here this season in the Turkey Hill Truck. So he's got a 2-second lead now on Igor Barreto, who has moved up to second ahead of Roberto Crown Jr. Kochmer and Troxel still in the top 5. And Rogeldorn in 6th there for Trackhouse Racing. And you also got Justice Idell battling with Hamill for 7th. Brian Webb and Duncan Ward round out the top 10, but Sam Medeo looking to get around this 18 and move himself in the top 10. A good run for him here, right here, trying to close in on Keys and minimize the damage going into our next race at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Medeo's in an odd spot here. I mean, you with the pace that Blaine Keys is showing, if you're Sam Medeo, Troxel and Kochmer are sitting right up there in 4th and 5th position. They don't really have, we're going to lose a touch, but, you know, if you're in 4th and 5th and the guy you're chasing is in 1st, I mean, that's not that big. Sam Medeo cannot afford to have a mid-pack run and finish outside the top 10, and that is the other thing I think that's going to make this title fight interesting. Blaine being so fast out the gate, it puts pressure on everybody currently chasing Blaine in this championship fight, that Blaine is already showing this pace. I mean, you've seen Ludovic Charette, who's rebounding a little bit here, but is currently 78 points out of the lead heading into tonight. You can't really rebound on Blaine Keys and get into the title fight if, you know, you're that far back with the pace he's showing. So there's a lot of pressure on these guys. Mistakes are more costly this year with how fast this one truck has been out the gate. Oh boy. Oh boy.
They're battling right here as Kochmer moves to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr., closing in on the cycle here. And Andrew Miller, who's at the back of the field. It's not been a good season for Andrew in that 69. His teammate Matthew Hubert is 9th in points there for Durrani Racing, very quietly in 9th. You guys have Hubert for your Cup team next year. That's definitely a combination to watch out for. These guys, they've been swarming Duncan Ward this whole time. And they got to be careful right here. I think got some guys coming down the pit lane. Oh boy, that is a very messy entrance for a lot of guys. And Bruno Giacomo, Joe Rakowski getting spun. And Zachary Fitzwater getting spun, and it's a mess on pit lane. An absolute chaotic mess on pit lane.
Oh, no.
That was, oh boy, there's too many guys trying to come down. There's no caution, though, by the way. We are still green here. Blaine Keys is still out there in the 1. That's interesting, because you had a lot of those guys who were ahead of that who may get a tire advantage. Tire wear does come into effect here at Charlotte, and Blaine now has to get around all these guys, and remember what happened at Michigan. Very poor pit stop there in that one. Ended up costing him the race win because he got caught up in a wreck because of it. Oh, and he got hit by his pseudo-teammate of Derek Hamill coming off right there. I don't know if that's going to affect him or not. Very tight pit stalls here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to see how long Blaine's on the pit lane here for. Are they going to repair any damage to that truck? No, they won't. They're just going to let him right out there. So that will not affect him. However, will coming down the lap later affect him? Do we have anyone coming around here? Should have somebody.
Rogel?
It might be Rogel. 98 machine is coming around right here. And Rogeldorn has found himself. Ooh, he's found himself in a good spot right here. Blaine's still going to be considerably ahead, but that 98's got a full head of steam, and he could find himself around this one. If there's any driver who can do it here at Charlotte, it's Rogeldorn. And here we go. It has cycled through. We're going to have ourselves across the line right here. 12 laps to go at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's now under a second for Rogeldorn trying to close in on Blaine Keys for this race win.
Well, they say time is but a flat circle, and about 5 months ago we were here for the Coke 600, and it was this guy in the 98 dominating out in front of the guy in the 1 truck. We'll now flip the script. It's the guy in the 1 truck dominating over the guy in the 98 truck, the top 2 from the Coke 600 out in front here. I think the guy who really I'm interested to see is how he's closing. He's got some of that draft. I want to see how Igor Barreto's going to play this because he moved up through the field on that opening run.
Oh, that 98 is quick. There's some aero damage on that one, I think. I think he got pushed in when Hamill hit him. I think there's just a little bit of aero damage on that one, and he's holding up right here. And Rogeldorn is closing in fast 10 laps to go here in the K&N 200 at Charlotte. And Blaine Keys, once again, cut in half for the lead. Rogel is coming fast into this 98 machine. Trackhouse Racing has not shown a lot of strength this season, especially with Giacomo, but Rogel, 13th in points. I know he'd love to get this win here, and he is trying to close in on Keys for that top position. You mentioned Igor Barretto right there running third. Kochmer is fourth, and all four of these guys are right on each other here late in the going.
No, this is going to be a fantastic battle here. I think Rogel had a lap extra on the warm-up on his tires, and I think that plays a big difference. And these trucks do produce a good amount of slipstream if you're following behind. And, you know, this is kind of a, not an aero track, but you definitely notice the draft here a little bit in these type of vehicles. So I think that definitely helped Rogel really catch up. But now he's got to figure out how to get by, and he's got to get by and defend at the same time, because this UPS 13 truck is dialed in tonight. Barretto, I don't remember where he started. Unbelievably quick opening run to the race. He is looking very strong here. But quick shout out, Jack Haas is up to P5. I don't know how he does it, but he is up to P5.
And he's 5th in points as well, by the way. So he's definitely a guy who has some contention for this championship, no doubt about it. Kind of stalled out right there. Rogel had a huge run, and then he just hit a wall of air, it seemed like. A next-gen race out here. And Barretto might be the only other driver who has the speed to be able to catch up to this one. Rogel's going to have to try a different line if he's going to close in on Blaine right here, but we'll have to see how the tires end up working out there. I think that outside lane through 3 and 4 has a little bit more grip than the inside does.
I got a little bit there.
He got 6 100ths right there. He has not lost any ground to Keys, but he is running out of time. It is 6 laps to go here in the K&N 200 at Charlotte. Blaine Keys has led every single lap in this race after starting on pole. He's going to have to fight for this one, though. Rogel and Igor Barretto right there, trying to close in, trying to steal this one away. Kochmer slipped back a little bit. It's Jack Haas, Justin Zaidel, Roberto Crown Jr., Thomas Troxel, Nicholas Sambadio, and Andrew Williams has found himself a lap down. It's actually Andrew Miller, who is 10th, his teammate, looking to take that 10th spot away in Matthew Hubert. Tough break for Andrew Williams. Brian Webb is 5 laps down. He also got Semedo, Vargas, Fitzwater, Rutkowski, and Giacomo. Remember, those guys were kind of caught up in that melee, and Barretto. Barretto got around Rogel right there. Dorn is slipping back, and will the 13 be able to close in on Blaine here at the end of this one? 4 laps to go now, half a second for Blaine on second place.
I mean, we've got fastest truck out here in the lead. We've got, I mean, a sneakily fast truck here in the 13. Igor Barretto has been very quick this season. Dominated Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago. Was just absolutely perfection that weekend up at the Glen. And we're seeing Igor show some really good strength here in this Web Racing Enterprise machine. The gap was half a second. It's 0.38 seconds now. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. He's going to need probably an extra lap. I feel like if this race had one more lap, I think he would have a shot to get there. There's a lap truck up ahead. I don't think they're going to catch him, but I don't think they're going to catch the 5 truck. But regardless of how this turns out, this has been an impressive. I've been very impressed with tonight with Igor, and this is going to. De Benedetti's not in the top 10 right now. He's ahead of Kochmer, Troxel, Sambadio, Haas. Igor Barretto, maybe a sneaky pick to get himself into the title fight.
He's had a great season. Like you said, already got that win at Watkins Glen. But will he get the one here? Blaine is just too fast. That's just the key right there. These guys have gotten into that 0.3 second range, and they kind of just hit a wall. And we'll see. Bryce Egan ahead here as Joe Rutkowski comes back down the pit lane. Here we go. It's the white flag here in the K&N 200 for Blaine Keys, who has led every single lap in this race. I don't know if we've ever had anyone on the channel lead every single lap at a race at Charlotte before. Blaine's about to pull it off here tonight. Going to be his 24th career win on the channel. You know, Fitzwater and Sambadio have to watch out for this guy on that all-time wins list if this keeps up, because Blaine looking to get his 16th career win in the past 2 years on the channel. He's going to pull it off. It's 2 in a row and his 3rd of the season. Blaine Keys has won the K&N 200. here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
That's another one.
That's 4 in a row for you guys at Team Velocitar. But a lot of that is in thanks and in part to Blaine Keys and this one team. What a dominating performance there. Just all across the board. Maximum points for Blaine Keys here tonight. There was no catching him. And this is arguably one of Blaine's best racetracks as well, because in the Coke 600, he won this race with Cohen Racing Enterprises in 2023. Finished second this past year, in the Coke 600, and now here he is winning the Truck Series here at Charlotte. That was an all-around beatdown right there for Blaine Keys. But you got to give a lot of credit to Igor Barreto, Rogel Dorn especially with a great run, Leonard Koshmer, Jack Haas, the top 5. Roberto Crown Jr. did all they needed to do in this one. A great run for them. Sam Medeo also finished top 10. Ladovic finished 14th. You know, it's really, you know, you guys have a good team, but it really seems to be the driver at this point, because Ladovic has had a lot of these moments where she has not qualified well and has just stayed mid-pack. Of course, Blaine started on pole and just cruised to the win here tonight. But what a fascinating race right there. Caution-free here at Charlotte. We needed that after Michigan. Had a couple of wrecks last week at... Actually, yeah, we had a couple of wrecks last week at Rockingham. But thoughts on this one, Matt? Very fascinating race here, and I know you're happy about your driver there. Jesse Turner had a valve issue, but otherwise everyone did finish this race, 28 drivers finishing on the lead lap.
No, I mean, I have, you know, obviously a little tough for the 2 team. Just the struggles continue. I think the truck has pace. I think the luck and the execution just unfortunately hasn't been there, but I think we'll get it turned around there. I mean, I don't even know what you can say to there's nothing I can add to the one truck at this point. I mean, Blaine's on fire. I think he's out for redemption. He is obviously out for redemption for that Wawa Cup Series championship that he had up until the 9th inning. Igor Barreto, impressive second place finish. That's another Ford 1-2. Best of luck to anybody who is in a truck that's not an ERR truck to beating one of these Fords. That's what, 6 races in a row now? That is 6 races in a row now. That it's been Webb Racing Enterprises, Velocitar, and Grattan Autosport for the past 6 races. So I don't know what else to say, but I mean, Rogel Dorn, awesome run for him. Leonard Koshmer, shooting his draft stock up more and more, and Jack Haas. History's going to remember that time Jack Haas didn't go number 1 in the Wawa Cup Series draft.
And he ended up...
I don't know, man.
The thing is, though, he ended up with Evans Ross Racing over in the Cup Series because
it worked
that,
out
and
for
that
him,
worked
though.
out for him. I think that was a better choice, better fit for him after all. And, you know, we look back on that season and how, you know, tough of a run it was for Trinity River Racing. It really worked out for Jack Haas last season in the Wawa Cup Series. But Blaine Keys is working out for him right now. And like you said, Matt, he definitely has a chip on his shoulder from what happened a month ago at Darlington Raceway in the Wawa Cup Series. And you know he wants to take it to Ladovic. Has a lot of respect for Ladovic, I know that much. But he wants to take it to Ladovic and beat her in the same equipment to show that he was, in fact, the better driver this past season. And it's going to be fascinating next season when Blaine drives for Pacific Racing, because that's a team. Thomas Troxel has had a lot of good runs with that team in the Wawa Cup Series. That's a team that's going to suit him very well. We'll have to see if that ends up giving him a good opportunity at the Wawa Cup Series title next year. It's going to be fascinating how that ends up working out. But hey, you know what? These rating series, I tell you what, Blaine Keys has done better than anybody else. Even though he has not won a championship in a rating series yet, he has more wins than anybody else in these rating series, even including Drew Webb and Ladovic Charette, the guys who have kind of come in and kind of mastered it from the get-go. Blaine, a guy who has been around since the very first race on the channel, has just taken to this and has gone off with it as well. And he went off this weekend at Charlotte. That was a 158.3 quarterback rating if he was a quarterback in an NFL game, what he did this weekend. But hey, it's not football, it's racing, and Blaine Keys, he's got a pretty significant lead here with no playoffs. Keep that in mind, no chase. He's got to keep it going throughout these next 10 races. Next week, we're at Las Vegas. And I would expect more of the same from you guys, but it is a longer race, 42 laps next week. The DraftKings High Roller 400K. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we head to the short track at IRP, which that could definitely turn some things around. We might finally see the streak end there, but we'll have to see how it all goes down next week from Las Vegas. Thank you guys so much for watching here tonight. Next week as well, we also have ourselves the finales in the HERS Elimination Series and the Body Armor Pro Series from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're excited to see who wins the title in that very close championship battle in the Pro Series, and of course, the Elimination Series, highest of those 4 drivers wins the championship, so we're excited to see how it all goes down next week with those races. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Blaine Keys, and I will see you guys later.